Good evening, everyone. I am Brandon Smithson, along with Jasmine Patterson and Brandon Jones. And tonight on Impact News, we will take an in-depth look into the causes and effects of infant mortality in Tennessee.
For those of you who do not know what infant mortality is the death of a baby before it reaches the age of 1. In Tennessee, we are currently ranked 44th in the nation, which means Tennessee is the 6th worst state affected by infant mortality.
Tonight we will explore this tragic epidemic through the help of our Impact team, who will be reporting on stories specifically related to infant deaths. Earlier today, we spoke with Mayor Wharton of Shelby County, Tennessee, and he agreed to speak with us throughout our broadcast today. Since Shelby County experiences the highest rate of infant mortality in Tennessee, Mayor Wharton is particularly concerned with the reduction. Mayor Wharton, is infant mortality an issue that's been somehow pushed under the rug?
We can keep using this highfalutin phrase, infant mortality, if you wish. Have you ever heard of two teenagers walking down the street with their iPods and their earphones saying, man, this infant mortality thing we got to do something about it. You do hear them say, hey, did you hear what happened? Joyce is pregnant. They say the baby died, shadow baby. Joyce's baby died. But that little baby, I just saw her. She was so cute. She's dead.
So I take it, Mayor Wharton, that there is some concern that young people are greatly impacted by infant mortality.
But it's not the policymakers in many instances who are getting pregnant and losing these babies. It's not the fundraisers who are getting pregnant and losing babies. It's not the academicians. In far too many instances, it's our young people, babies having babies.
Thank you, Mayor Wharton. Right now we have Marshita Wallace reporting live from Secours Medical Center, where it is said that 18-year-old Tyrone Johnson is responsible for the death of his 5-month-old son.
Thank you, Brandon. I'm here at Secours Medical Center waiting on Tyrone Johnson, the primary suspect in the death of his 5-month-old son, Travis. We are waiting, hoping that we can get a quick interview with him before they take him down to the station for questioning. Here they come now. So, Mr. Johnson, do you mind sharing with us what really caused the death of your 5-month-old son, Travis?
First of all, I'm not responsible for the death of my son. I picked him up from the babysitter and he was sleeping. After about an hour, I realized he hadn't awakened or let out a cry. So I went to go check on him, like any dad would. And then I soon realized that he wasn't breathing, so I immediately took him to the medical center where they told me he was dead.
So how does it make you feel to know people hold you responsible for the death of your son?
It hurts me. I love my son.
Well, there you have it. We will have more on this top story as it develops, and hopefully an actual update from the emergency room on what really caused the death of 5-month-old son Travis. Here at Secours Medical Center, Marshita Wallace with Impact News.
Thanks, Marshita. And now we are going to Kayla Phillips, who was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, speaking with folks about reasons as to why they may shake their babies. Kaylin?
Thanks, Jasmine. Earlier this afternoon, we spoke with 17-year-old Jessica, a young mother who agreed to speak with us about why people shake their babies and what it is that causes overwhelmed parents to potentially harm their children.
Another thing is that I would need help with is trying to control my anger, because I don't want to get so frustrated that, I take it out on my son, and I don't want to be that type of person. So, therefore, you probably will say I need some help. When I need a break, I really do need a break. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell nobody that I need a break. You can just see it in my face that I need a break, because I don't want to ask nobody to help me.
As you can hear, Jessica touches on some key points for parents.
And what are those key points, Kaylin?
Ask for help. It's great to have a support system, or call a friend. Take a deep breath. Take time to meditate and regain your composure. Or walk out of the room. Put the baby in a crib or a playpen, somewhere safe while you're taking time to gather your thoughts. Back to you, Jasmine.
Thanks, Kaylin. Later on in the broadcast, we will review 7 steps to help prevent shaken baby syndrome. But coming up next, we have the baby forecast after this quick commercial break.
And what does Jell-O have to do with infant mortality? Stay tuned and we will explain.
Click on that video.
Understanding your baby and how he or she can be harmed will help you prevent unintended injuries. The fragile, underdeveloped brain of a baby moves back and forth within his or her skull, just like this cup of Jell-O. Don't risk permanently damaging your child by taking out your frustrations. Instead, have a plan when you become angry, frustrated, or impatient.
Thanks, Brendan. And now reporting on tonight's baby forecast, we will hear what Saida Binion has to say about mortality conditions in Tennessee. Saida?
Thanks, Brandon. Well, conditions do not look so great here in Tennessee. In fact, it's a gloomy forecast to be sure. Here in Tennessee, we are ranked so high that several counties, Hamilton, Davidson, and Shelby, are all being compared to third world countries. And what that means for Tennessee is more scattered showers and less baby showers. Our Dr. Radar predicts severe storms, especially in zip codes 38108, 37208, and 37410. It seems the pattern moving through our state indicates threatening conditions for children in Tennessee. Unfortunately, infant mortality for the African Americans is twice that of white babies, and conditions do not seem to be improving for the Latino community either. Oh, but wait, we've just received some good news from my Dr. Radar that shaken baby syndrome is 100% preventable. And back to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Saida. That is indeed good news. And coming up later in the program, we will check back in with Saida for the 7-step prevention forecast. Now, we have just received more conclusive information on the story of Tyrone Johnson and his 5-month-old son, Travis. So, Marshita, what are the new updates?
To update you on the story, Tyrone Johnson from North Nashville has just been arrested for the death of his 5-month-old son, Travis. As we reported earlier in our interview, Mr. Johnson claims that he is not responsible for the death of his son. Okay, Brandon, we are just getting ready in from the doctors from the emergency room have just released a statement stating that the baby seems to have suffered from what is called shaken baby syndrome.
Marshita, can you give our viewers a better understanding? Exactly what is shaken baby syndrome?
Well, shaken baby syndrome can be a form of child abuse. Even though many parents do not mean to harm their child, it can result in brain injury that happens to the child when someone shakes, slams, or throws the baby against an object. Most commonly, it is when a child is shaken by the arms, legs, chest, or shoulders. Often when doctors do an autopsy, the baby can show signs of trauma, lethargy, signs of blindness, and internal bleeding.
And just how common is shaken baby syndrome?
Well, Jasmine, it's sad to say, but shaken baby syndrome happens often in Tennessee. The causes are usually from the parents becoming frustrated, angry, impatient, and also the lack of education can be a factor. Marshita Wallace.
That was Marshita Wallace reporting live from Secours Medical Center.
During this broadcast, we've been talking about shaken baby syndrome, one of the causes of infant death. And now we turn to Saida Binion for our 7-step prevention forecast. Saida?
Thanks, Brandon. As you can see from my 7-step prevention forecast, and as we said earlier, shaken baby syndrome is preventable. If your child cries for long periods of time, do the following. Be sure your baby doesn't need food or a diaper change. If you're frustrated, call a friend. Find ways to relieve stress. It's okay, put them down safely in the crib or playpen and leave the room. Regain your composure and take a deep breath and count to 100. Do something relaxing like meditate, listen to soothing music, or take a bath. Now, Brandon, although any one of these steps can help, a combination of all of these steps can certainly help reduce the risk of shaken baby syndrome. Back to you.
This concludes our special report on shaken baby syndrome. We hope you'll join us for upcoming reports where we will focus on other aspects of infant mortality, including drugs and alcohol use, and our special Lost Lives segment. For Impact News, I'm Brandon Jones.
I'm Brandon Smithson.
And I'm Jasmine Patterson.
Wishing you good